Hi, this is Ty with Devlog 4 for the Domino Effect, a Deadpool FanGame. First of all, sorry for the delay on this devlog. I knew it would take longer, but not this long. At one point while making the game, I had to make a tough call. Should I stick with my quality standards or take a shortcut? It was early on, and still it's early in the process, but I decided to keep my standards at the level of quality bar I set for myself. I know from experience that it always is better to start with quality and stick with it, even if it means more work, which it usually does. It not only gives you a better end product, but also prevents you from getting into the bad habit of cutting corners, because none of us like circles. The result is that I had a lot of work to do, but I'll get into that later in this devlog. Good news is Prototype 3 is complete, so that milestone is wrapped up. So the model's textures have been given a major upgrade, making it look even better than before. The topology is now cleaner, and the hair looks much, much better. It's getting closer to what I want her to look like for the final game. But I still need to make some tweaks once I add all the accessories. Okay, so here's the thing. At this early stage in the project, making it look pretty is more about how it looks than how it works. It doesn't really make a difference in the early development process, but I don't think you'd find it very interesting to watch me move and change basic shapes and placeholders. I wouldn't even find that interesting, and I enjoy watching the world's most boringest documentaries on nature. This also supports the extra work I put into it. If I want it to be ready to be viewed with all the nice texturing, I have to be willing to keep the quality at the standards I set. If I choose not to get into the texturing and materials and just do the functional thing, the quality bar wouldn't really be affected, but that wouldn't be as fun to view. It would be like a documentary. So in this game, we're playing from a third-person perspective, which means we'll mostly be staring at the back of our character here. Because of this, when I was creating the textures and UVs, I focused on making the parts of the character that are most visible look the best. While working on Prototype 3, I have changed my mind about the parts that will be available for modular changes. I have decided to reduce the amount of parts that make up Domino's model to something like hair, eyes, mouth parts, upper body, and her lower body. Now, there's a few reasons for this. One, the maps that will be baked onto Domino require a good amount of customization, and this is mainly because of how the clothes are styled. Having a lot of parts will make this a real headache. Two, I found out when it comes to the main character, creating a lot of modular components won't save me time in the long run, and it might turn into something totally unnecessary. Once again, high-level customization for the main character. This will probably also hold true for the boss characters. In fact, I think the only modular models will be the generic AI enemies and NPCs. So I am very happy I found this out sooner than later. With Prototype 3, I had the goal of getting basic materials and textures set up. Now, from the decision of quality I talked about earlier, I needed to push some more so it looks good and not just functional. I use a process of sculpting in the details for the model in ZBrush on Domino's digital sculpt form, which is just for textures, and it won't be seen in the game. When I take that sculpt and project it onto the prototype model, I can then go further and adjust the prototype's topology and UVs to support the new projected textures, and then finalize the textures in Substance Painter in Photoshop. There will be some back and forth, and there already was, to make sure these textures work properly, but I end up with a strong set of textures and materials to continue to build from. Now, after play testing with this prototype, I noticed a real issue. The lighting on her hair in some areas look really bad. I mean, literally shitty bad. I thought I could just tinker with the lighting a bit, but I found that it wasn't good enough, and I couldn't shake the idea that this was now stuck in my head. This really looks crappy in real-time lighting. I had to be honest here. I was not going to be able to achieve the quality bar I've set out for this hair. So I made a slightly painful decision to remake her hair. Even though it was a little painful and very tedious to do, I am better off addressing it early in the game creation process than trying to do this later when everything is finalized and much, much harder to do. And so that would really suck. Also, one thing, I'm also pretty good at making hair and fur for game characters and creatures for my clients' projects. So why in the hell would I settle for bad hair in my personal project? So I just didn't settle. Now I have a good base of hair that looks similar to the kinky twist fold fro that Domino sports in the movie. That also works in real-time game lighting. This is a good foundation I can continue to refine towards the final look. Now moving on to the game levels. I started with the game level template from Unreal Marketplace. I changed it up and made a quick block out for level 1. I have a simple square grid set up for the first gameplay level. It gives the player easy points of focus, which should translate to smoother gameplay and less of getting stuck because the level is just confusing as F. I made a list of all the items to be optimized on this level and what I need to do to add them onto the level. And there is a lot to do. This level right now is a prototype. Some things are blocked in with simple objects and some things are near finalized models. I am just focusing on the big picture right now. The level is also very buggy right now in Unreal Engine, mainly for outdated parts and props. I will need to copy and paste all these assets into a new Unreal updated map to eliminate most of the bugs. The final game version will need to be bug-free and very player-friendly. As I move deeper into development, the devlog updates will be spread out more. The work becomes more demanding for a while, and then towards the end, it eases up again. So you can expect devlog updates to be delayed a little bit. Wrapping it up here, I gotta get back to the grind. I'll leave you with some gameplay testing footage to check out. Thanks for watching.